Querido compoblanos, paz de Dios y abrazo de Nuestra Señora la Virgen del Pilar y San Jose. Starting May 16, the city of Zamboanga will officially transition from enhanced community quarantine to general community quarantine. At the onset, pidió a ustedes cooperación de todo para cumplir con el mga protocols bajo na GCQ. Hindi quiere decir kay GCQ ya kita, todo ya puede salir afuera y caminar. In fact, the GCQ demands that we exercise the highest standard of personal diligence and responsibility to protect ourselves, our families, and our communities from COVID-19. Under the general community quarantine, we still have to observe curfew hours from 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. and the movement of people will still be guided by the quarantine pass policy. All establishments will enforce the no quarantine pass, no entry policy, except for frontline workers and employees reporting for work already. Guiding our transition is Executive Order 567-2020, an act declaring the general community quarantine in Zamboanga City and providing guidelines for its implementation. Under this executive order, additional businesses and establishments, particularly those under the Category 1 and 2, will be allowed to operate, provided that they comply with the health standards and protocols set by the Department of Health. Otra vez, sinde tu parte del mga industria y establecimiento que ay puede abrir bajo na general community quarantine, no hay tu razón para salir na casa. Necesita esta na casa y está librado con el COVID. Movement of individuals will be strictly monitored and regulated through checkpoints. Restricted también el número del diaton mga pasahero na mga privado y del público mga vehikulo. For motorcycle, strictly no angkas allowed. Public transportation such as tricycles and jeepneys will be allowed to operate at a limited capacity and routes and subject to restrictions per guidelines set by the Tricycle Adjudication Board and the LTFRB respectively. Mass gatherings of more than 10 persons to include religious ceremonies remain prohibited. These, along with other guidelines, have been disseminated through all media channels. We ask our residents to do their due diligence and to be guided accordingly. I rely on your cooperation and compliance on this. These are necessary steps that we have to take and observe to keep our beloved Zamboanga City safe. Querido compoblanos, the battle is not yet over. It is just beginning. Let us not put our guards down against COVID-19 because the danger has not yet passed. The new normal will be about us living with the threat of COVID-19 while practicing best practices in health standards such as regular hand washing with soap, water, or alcohol, wearing of face masks and other protective gear, social and physical distancing of at least 1 to 2 meters facilitated by diagrams in establishments, mandatory sanitation stations and foot baths in establishments allowed to operate, mandatory no-contact thermal sensors at entrances, regular disinfection of homes, offices, and workplaces. These health standards must become second nature to us. Debe queda parte del diaton mga daily habits, activities, and protocols both at home and at work. We must always be aware of our actions and how it can affect others. Necesita kita toma aksyon para hacer todo manera para proteger di aton cuerpo y con el otro mga vivientes. As of May 15, we have 134 COVID cases in Zamboanga City. Through the Zamboanga City Medical Center Laboratory, we are fast-tracking our testing in line with national government's thrust of test, trace, and treat, or the T3. Our isolation facilities at the Ecozone and Kabatangan are ready to house the COVID-19 patients. These facilities are secure to ensure proper isolation and management of our cases. For residents living near these facilities, stay at home and stay calm as we trust our frontline workers to do their jobs efficiently and with utmost care and discretion. Meanwhile, the distribution of the second wave of relief goods is ongoing to help you remain at home. Ay el gobyerno lokal todo manera en kooperasyon con ang mga ahensya de gobyerno lokal y mga barangay para extende ayuda y asistensya na todo. Otra vez, el General Community Quarantine or GCQ is not a return to the old normal. Everything that we have practiced under the enhanced community quarantine must carry over to the general community quarantine. Hand washing, social distancing, sanitation. Over the next weeks and months, we will have to make drastic adjustments in our lives to the new normal brought about by our unprecedented challenge and threat of COVID-19. Manada cosa necesita cambia y hacer. I ask for everyone's patience and cooperation, particularly the leadership of all our 98 barangays. Life must go on even with COVID-19, but we must remain vigilant and careful. We must move forward with careful considerations. Let us not be reckless. Lives are at stake. I likewise call on everyone that in these times of great challenge and fear, let us remain compassionate. Be kind and loving to one another. En este tiempo de dificultad, we are all that we have. Kita-kita el manayudahan para todo kita puede levantar. Para todo kita na favor de Dios ay gana contra con COVID-19. Este es el alcalde Beng Climaco. Muchísimas gracias y vaya con Dios a todos.